All right, moving on to episode 4. This is a spoiler discussion. Getting that out of the way, let's get into it. Yet another solid episode. This season is so much better than season 1. I didn't hate season 1. I liked it, but this is just so much better. So much better written, so much better everything. There's really like nothing from the first season that can touch this one. And I think that's just, thanks to Netflix. So this episode did something that I was not expecting. This episode made me feel sympathy for Glenn. I mean, he's been a dick this whole episode, or this whole season. And in this episode, they actually made me care for this guy. And I felt bad for him. And then they took it all away when he rapes Noah. So it's kind of like, oh, poor Glenn. Oh, fuck Glenn. Yeah, but I mean, the fact that he's in prison and that he meets this guy in there, and then he does like the Se Wataneo Shawshank Redemption thing where he takes the postcard and he finds him out there, except for this isn't some embrace on the beach. This is I only fucked you because we had a good thing in jail. You kept me safe and I let you do your thing to me. And then, he beats him to death out of, anger and he's just out of being hurt. And it worked. It was like, man, that's such a shitty situation. That guy could have handled it so much better. But granted, I don't know what happened in prison. I mean, he could have made that guy's life a living hell and made it. I mean, he does kind of push it on him in the workout area. But he clearly thought it was a real thing. And I think with knowing Glenn's temper, that guy probably should have not come on so strong with his rejection of him. I think he should have been very aware that could have resulted in his death. They're out in the middle of nowhere, and he's rejecting a guy who got out of prison, and he got into a relationship with him because he was terrified of him. It's kind of like, really? You didn't see this coming? Not the best time to speak up for yourself. And I mean, I think that this is pretty clear that this is not Glenn. I mean, he's not the killer. I think that's pretty damn obvious. So I think maybe they're trying to steer it that way. Like, oh, well, we've revealed it. Glenn's the killer. And it's like, definitely not. I am still on Kira. I'm still on her. We'll see. I do find it, I mean, it's a fictional show, and I'm never going to completely knock something for being so unbelievable. I mean, it's, as I said, it's fiction, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But the fact that these kids come back to try to cover up a murder that they had done, they come to a yoga retreat where they're supposed to be these granola cruncher people, and already within 4 episodes we find out that 2 of them, Antoine and Glenn, have murdered people. So both for being gay, basically, and both right in front of a truck or a car or RV. And using a part of that car to kill them. The one guy smashed his head into the side mirror, and the other one used the door of the car. So they need to get a little more creative with these kills in the flashbacks. All right, but as I was trying to get to, it's like, come on, what are the odds that there would also be 2 other killers on there, and one of them was trying, both of them are trying, and both of them have bodies locked away in, boxes that they don't want anyone to find. So both of them have pretty similar scenarios, actually, when I'm really I'm figuring this out right here as I'm on camera. But yeah, it's like, that's a little coincidental. So the odds of that are a lot. Yeah. So, but whatever. I still like it. It's ridiculous, of course, but that's all right. As Gandalf says, every great story deserves a little embellishment. So yeah, and this poor Megan character. Now Glenn's character had me having some sympathy, and then took it all away with how he treated Noah. But on the flip side of that, this new character, Megan, man, what a shit fucking story she had. She only got one episode. She was hiking and doing this, like, you know, journey for her. It kind of reminded me of that Reese Witherspoon movie where she's like hiking out there by herself. Like, she's on this epic journey, but then she runs into a fucking horror show with these people. And then, you know, Renee clocks her over the head, and then she gets poisoned and dies horribly. And it's like, man, did this girl have just the shittiest story? The writers hated her, man. Wow, what a fucking nightmare that girl went through in the last, you know, in like such a short amount of time. And that box of like body parts of Antoine and his, like, it's all filled with blood, and the body parts are like floating inside of it as they open. I thought that looked awesome. I just really, really liked that a lot. But as I said, I knew it wasn't going to be Noah. I mean, he had frostbite on his toes. You can't just ignore that. So the killer himself was clearly very physically able and was running around, and Noah couldn't even walk. And you saw that his toes were black. You know, there's no way he could have been the killer. And now Glenn, they've exposed him too much, and this is way too early for a reveal. So clearly it isn't him. And they definitely mess, you know, they're, so I'm sorry. Kira is still my pick. We'll see. 4 more episodes to go before I find out, but that's the one I got. So, as I said, I'm going to be watching 1922 tonight. I will also be watching the new Channel Zero, so I will be reviewing both of those. So I will not be able to get to episode 5 and beyond until at least tomorrow. So anyway, please let me know if you're watching this and you're like kind of watching this with me. I would love to know where your thoughts are as well. So anyway, bye.